Have you ever noticed that the most intolerant people on the planet are the people who claim to be the champions of tolerance? Have you noticed that people scream inclusivity when they want to exclude and respect when they're disrespecting something and diversity when they're imposing uniformity? Here's the latest of the endless examples of this from the UK. Dear parents and carers, as we approach the spring season, I would like to inform you about an important update regarding our school's traditional Easter celebrations. So, the school has a tradition. Gotta love traditions. After careful consideration and discussions with our school community, we have decided not to hold the Easter Bonnet Parade or the Easter service this year. This decision has been made in the spirit of inclusivity and respect for the diverse religious beliefs represented within our school community. There you have it, inclusivity, respect, diverse, the big three. Watch how many times you see inclusivity, respect, and diversity in this letter announcing that the school's tradition is being excluded because there's no respect for the tradition that was already in place, and because local traditions need to be wiped out to clear a path for a new uniformity. Our school is committed to fostering an environment where every child feels valued and respected regardless of their religious background. By not holding specific religious celebrations, we aim to create a more inclusive atmosphere that honors and respects the beliefs of all our children and their families. We understand that this change may be disappointing for some, especially those who have cherished these traditions over the years. However, we believe that this decision aligns with our values of inclusivity and respect for diversity. Laying it on pretty thick, aren't you? We are exploring alternative ways to celebrate the season in future years that will be inclusive of all children and reflect the rich cultural diversity of our community. One of the ways we will be celebrating inclusivity is by taking part in Refugee Week, which occurs in June, as well as beginning our journey to become an accredited school of sanctuary for refugees. Watch this space. In the meantime, we look forward to seeing many of you at the Music Festival in a couple of weeks. Music Festival? Music Festival? Music is haram in Islam, you bigots. What's next? A pork and beer festival? Bunch of Islamophobes. By the way, wait until someone complains that the music festival is offensive. Canceled. It'll be replaced by a new tradition of having all kids of all backgrounds attend prayers at the local mosque, for the sake of inclusivity. We appreciate your understanding and support as we make this transition. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact the school office. Thank you for your continued support. Kind regards, Miss Mander, Head Dimmy. Wow, I'm blown away by all the inclusivity, respect, and diversity. It reminds me of a similar story from just a few months ago. Parents fury after school tries to ban Christmas references from its festive pantomime so it can be inclusive for children of all faiths. Is it just me, or are British people easily controlled by words? This happens everywhere, but it seems like a much bigger problem in Great Britain. Gangs of men were allowed to horribly abuse tens of thousands of young British girls for decades, and the entire population was kept silent with a couple of words, Islamophobe and racist. Any tradition in Great Britain can be wiped out overnight with a word. Inclusivity or diversity or respect. And those same words can be used to replace the tradition with something like Ramadan. Why can't we have Christmas or Easter? Because we have to be inclusive. Oh, okay. So why do we all need to celebrate Ramadan? Because we have to be inclusive. Oh. And British people just fall for this instantly. Orwell pointed out the problem. But instead of paying attention and recognizing their weakness and guarding their minds and their traditions, the people of Great Britain decided it's just time to fade away. We keep thinking that this is something that's going to pass, but it's time to be realistic here. If your culture has become so incredibly weak and pathetic that it can be wiped out with a few words, I'd say your culture is coming to an end. Do you know what the fall of Great Britain reminds me of? My mother and one of my brothers died of drug overdoses. Family members get addicted to drugs, and you try to help them. Sometimes you even help them get totally clean, but they just keep going back to the thing that's destroying them. And in the end, you just can't do enough to save them. For me, watching Great Britain destroy itself is like watching my mom destroy herself, knowing that no matter how hard I try, I can't stop her. You've still got a chance to go to rehab, people of Great Britain, but you are rapidly running out of time. If you keep shoving the needle in your arm, ooh, I'm being inclusive, ooh, I'm not an Islamophobe, other nations will mourn for you after you pass, and you will be missed. And if it's any consolation, future generations in other countries will use you as an example of how a once great nation can be destroyed by fear of words. What can the rest of us do? We can still try to help Great Britain. Things can always change, but we should be focusing more on things that last and on supporting people and countries that aren't hell-bent on self-destruction. Some people, in some places, guard their traditions. They value them. They cherish them. They're not ashamed of them. They fight for them. They understand that if even one generation gives up, something important will be lost. They dedicate their lives to preserving their values, their traditions, their culture. They can't be manipulated into destroying themselves by the latest buzzwords. And that's why their values and their traditions and their culture remain. They don't fade away. I've been promoting ARTSA for the past few months because I really like what they do, especially when I see entire nations doing the opposite. ARTSA gathers products from local artisans in Jerusalem and Nazareth and Bethlehem and other locations and ships them to you in a box. Every box you buy supports small local businesses and charities run by Christians and Jews who want to preserve and celebrate and share their traditions, not hide them in the name of exclusion masquerading as inclusion. If you haven't signed up to receive your quarterly ARTSA box, the link is in the description. Use the promo code DIZZLE to get a discount. See the difference between people who love and share their traditions and those who've been taught to despise and hide their own traditions? Which traditions do you think will last? Those that are loved and shared, or those that are despised and hidden?